Today, we're diving deep into August 1947. It's this moment that's, it's both a profound tragedy and an incredible miracle all at once. It's the story of how the borders of modern India were drawn in violence, while at the same time, the nation was stitched together with sheer political will.
So let's start with this image. Picture it. A man, a British lawyer, sitting in a room in Delhi. And here's the thing, he'd never even been to India before. Yet he's holding a pencil that's about to decide the fate of millions of people, redraw an entire subcontinent, and, unleash an absolute firestorm.
So how did this happen? How did one single line on a map manage to tear a subcontinent apart, while at the very same time, this other, way more complex process stitched a brand new nation together? It's really a story of two massive jobs happening simultaneously: the brutal division of British India and the political unification of hundreds of princely states. Okay, let's get into how both of these unfolded.
All right, let's kick things off with the partition itself. This was a task with just unimaginable consequences, and it was all given to one man. And the reason he was chosen? Get this. It was because of his complete and total ignorance of the very country he was about to slice in two.
His name was Sir Cyril Radcliffe. And yeah, the British thought he was the perfect neutral guy for the job. His main qualification? He knew absolutely nothing about India. Not its culture, not its geography, not its people, nothing. The thinking was, hey, if he doesn't know anything, he can't possibly be biased, right?
But the pressure on him was just impossible. Radcliffe lands in India on July 8th, and they tell him the deadline is August 15th. That's it. Just a little over 5 weeks to divide these two massive provinces, Punjab and Bengal. He had to draw a line straight through villages, farms, even cities, and all he had to work with were outdated maps and census data that everyone knew was unreliable. No pressure.
And you can bet he ran into some huge problems. What do you do with the major cities? Take Calcutta, for example. It had a clear Hindu majority, so okay, that goes to India. But Lahore, that was a much tougher call. It had a slight Muslim majority, sure, but most of the industry, the property, that was all owned by Hindus and Sikhs. In the end, Radcliffe gave Lahore to Pakistan. The story goes he was worried the new country would be totally crippled without at least one major city.
So, what happened next? What happens when a line drawn in a quiet office in Delhi actually hits the real world? Well, it unleashed one of the greatest human catastrophes of the 20th century. No exaggeration.
The result was the largest forced migration in all of human history. We're talking about 20 million people, 2 crore, Hindus, Sikhs, Muslims, all uprooted from homes their families had lived in for generations. And they were all forced to scramble across a border that literally didn't exist a few days earlier.
And the death toll? We'll probably never know the exact number, but it's estimated in the lakhs. Hundreds of thousands, maybe even over 1 million people were killed in the horrific violence that just exploded everywhere.
Maybe the most horrifying symbol of all this were what became known as the ghost trains. Imagine this, a train pulls into a station, say Amritsar or Lahore, but it's completely silent, just eerie. And when they finally pry the doors open, they find it's not filled with passengers, it's filled with the dead.
And the sheer hatred of that moment, it's captured in messages like this one, found chalked right on the side of one of those trains arriving in India. This train is our independence gift to Nehru and Patel. It's just a chilling, gruesome message that shows you how deep the violence had gone on both sides.
But, in the middle of all this absolute horror, something incredible happened. A kind of miracle. Over in Punjab, you had 55,000 soldiers, a whole boundary force, and they couldn't stop the killing. But in Calcutta, one man did, Mahatma Gandhi. He started a fast, right to the brink of death, and it literally shamed the city's rival gang leaders into surrendering their weapons right at his feet. And he brought a peace to that city that actually lasted.
So while this one line is tearing the country apart, a totally different challenge is popping up inside the new borders of India. And that was, how on earth do you unify this new nation?
Okay, check this out. There were 565 of them. That's the number of independent princely states scattered all over the subcontinent. For hundreds of years, they've been ruled by their own Maharajas and Nawabs, all under British protection. But now, the British were leaving, and technically, these rulers were free to do whatever they wanted. Join India, join Pakistan, or just become their own country.
So, India's new leaders are looking at a map, and it has the potential to look like a piece of Swiss cheese. A brand new nation just filled with hundreds of independent holes? It would be a complete nightmare. Politically, economically, just impossible to govern.
This colossal task, convincing all 565 of these rulers to join India, It fell to a small but incredibly effective team. You had Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the political mastermind, VP Menon, the brilliant negotiator, and even Lord Mountbatten, who used his royal connections to sway the princes. And believe me, they used every tool in the book: charm, diplomacy, and yeah, when they had to, some pretty clear threat.
Sardar Patel's approach was super pragmatic. He had this great analogy for it. He told Mountbatten, "You have provided me with a full basket of apples." He saw the princes as these apples. Mountbatten's job was to help get them all in the basket. And Patel's job? To make sure none of those apples went rotten by deciding to go independent, or worse, join Pakistan.
So how did they actually pull it off? How did this team redraw the internal map of India and create the single unified nation we know today? Well, the stories are pretty wild. I mean, some of these stories are the stuff of legend. Seriously, take Jodhpur. The Maharaja was secretly negotiating to join Pakistan. When he was finally convinced to sign with India, he literally pulled a pistol on VP Menon's head during the signing. Then you have Junagadh, where the Nawab, who was famous for having 2,000 dogs, decided his Hindu-majority state would join Pakistan. The Indian army just surrounded the state, and the Nawab took off for Karachi with as many of his dogs as he could fit on the plane.
But the trickiest apple in that whole basket, that was Kashmir. You had a Hindu Maharaja ruling over a Muslim-majority population, and he was really dreaming of being independent. But his hand was forced. The Pathan tribesmen, backed by Pakistan, invaded. In total desperation, he signed the accession to India, basically trading his state for military help. And that's what sparked the very first war between India and Pakistan. That war didn't really end with a victory for either side. It was more of a stalemate. The UN brokered a ceasefire, and the line where the fighting just happened to stop, that became the line of control. It's a de facto border that has basically defined one of the most difficult conflicts in the world ever since. So, when you boil it all down, that's the story of 1947. It's this wild contradiction, right? A horrifying tragedy, born from a single line drawn on a map. And at the exact same time, a political miracle, born from stitching 565 separate pieces into one single nation. You've got these two opposite forces, destruction and creation, happening all at once. It's such a powerful piece of history, and it really leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? Partition was a tragedy, integration a miracle. So what does this story of division and unity happening at the exact same time teach us about building nations today? What is it that has the power to tear us apart, and what has the power to bring us together? That question, well, is just as real and just as important today as it was back then.